Hello, YTPC. This is the Gentleman Scholar doing a proper pipe smoking video for the first time in what seems like eons. I'm going to be doing two VR responses today for the price of one. Hopefully I get them right. One was because I was called out by Truckin' Piper Bob. Hold on. Tis the season. I'm smoking it in the pipe that old man things gave me. I'll tell you why in a little bit. Okay, first one. VR to Truckin' Piper Bob. He called me out to one, it's been a guilty pleasure. Two, mention a charity that I would like to become involved with in the future. And three, I have to pass this on to someone else, like the curse that it is. Just kidding, not really. I'm looking for my pipe tool here. Excuse me for a second. Should have got prepared before I started. Here we are. I still haven't learned how to talk. The pipe that I'm off yet. Okay, first is the guilty pleasure. I'm big into music, not insanely so, but more than your average person, I think. And this has been sung in my head. It's been there for a while, and it won't go away. It just wouldn't go away. So since we have pretty much the world's almost complete library in our hands, I called it up and I listened to it. And now I know why I'm never going to listen to it again. It's Backstreet Boys, Backstreet's Back. And rock your body, something. Anyway, I played it. I got it out of my system, and there's a reason why I don't like boy bands. But whoever's putting together that product knows exactly how to fill those dance floors. So I listened to it once, got it out of my system. Hopefully, it won't come back again anytime soon. Excuse me. The charity I picked was the World Literacy Foundation because I'm a big reader, as you subscribers know. I read a lot. I thank comic books for that. They were my gateway drug into reading further, and I still read comics, as you well know, and love them. I either packed this too tight or I didn't let it dry enough. Whatever. Maybe I should just let it dry enough a little bit. But I'll try again. It's because you're talking when you're doing these videos. You're not supposed to talk. You're supposed to keep puffing and puffing and puffing. Anyway, World Literacy Foundation. Yeah, because I'm a big believer in reading, and you should be able to read what you want, when you want, how you want. And so whenever you hear news of books being censored or banned in libraries, it really makes me see red. So yeah, the more you read, the more you know. It's a gift, and that's what I'd be giving my money to for foundation. And for the third one, I'm going to call out somebody. And by the way, Bob, when you mentioned Gentleman Scholar before you actually passed this on to me, I kind of knew what was going on. I'm starting to know how your brain works. And you mentioned Gentleman and Scholar, and then you mentioned procrastinating, which I'm a big expert at. So put the two together, and I was not surprised to hear my name when you called me out. So just a little aside there. And who am I calling out? The guy who made this pipe for me. Old man things, Mike. So, number one, tell me your guilty pleasure, if you have any. There's got to be at least one. What charity you would favor, and then pass this hot potato curse on to somebody else. Which reminds me of a movie called It Follows. Look it up. I don't want to explain it now because it's a little too adult for this channel, but let's just say when you see It Follows, be careful who you casually sleep with. We'll just put it that way, because you could be making yourself a target for inexorably creeping, stalking curse coming to follow you. It Follows. Just off the side there. Okay, second thing is our favorite memory, and I believe that one comes from Beans 316. I caught it through somebody else, so I'm just kind of passing this forward as well. Let's try this again. I think it's too wet. I'm just going to keep trying. Okay, my favorite Christmas memory. And they're fairly recent adult ones, and I don't have one, I have two. Once upon a time in my single years, when I wasn't flying the friendly skies, saying coffee, tea, or me, and passing out peanuts and pretzels and everything else, I was pretty much backpacking all throughout the UK and some parts of Europe, mainland Europe. I was walking the earth, wandering from town to town, being the guest star in other people's lives, and on one of those trips, big heavy backpack, I'm loaded with CDs and stuff that I would find. One time I was actually there for Christmas Eve, believe it or not, and I think I was on my way down to England to visit somebody. So I was tramping through George Square in Glasgow, and they had all the Christmas lights festooned, and it just started snowing. And I just felt elated with joy. It felt like one of those, Christmas movie moments where, your faith is restored and you know your place in the universe and all that. So I just did a little pirouette through that and pretended the camera was right above me as I let the snow come down. And I was pretty happy to be alive at that moment. It felt like a special gift. I was in a place that I really loved, Scotland/Glasgow, and I had the Christmas lights. I was bathed in the multicolored Christmas lights, and the snow was coming down. It was perfect motion picture experience. And similar to that, second Christmas experience, Once Upon a Time, still single. I want to say about 10 years, maybe about 10, 12, 15 years ago. I was working over the holidays because they didn't really mean that much to me, like I said, because I was single. So I was just basically, I had 2 or 3 Amsterdam trips back to back. You go out one night, you spend the next day there, you come home the next afternoon, you crash out, and then you go out the very next night type thing. And I used to do like 7 of these in a row when I was in my 20s. I remember having 7 Londons in a row back in like 1990, 91. But I digress. But I was coming in Christmas Eve from a Glasgow trip, completely wiped out. That trip is always a worker. That flight's always a worker. And I'm just get myself, we're talking, I had futon on the floor, no bureau or anything like that, just pretty much bachelor living. So I showered up and I'm going to bed just to kind of get some rest because tomorrow's going to be another long day. So I noticed my neighbor's Christmas lights that were filling up, Christmas lights again, they were filling up the room. I could see, it was illuminating my ceiling. It was wonderful. And I just, you start wondering, again, your place in the universe. Why am I here at this particular time? Just kind of feeling a little bit bummed out. And then right at that moment, I think I was listening to National Public Radio. They were doing some Christmas classics. And all of a sudden, Mahalia Jackson's Silent Night comes on. Total gospel. She's filling her lungs, singing Silent Night as I just look up at the stars. And It's like time stood still. I felt, well, I guess I felt loved. I felt seen, whether that was true or not. But it was a gift from whoever, God, the universe, my own brain. But yeah, it was a really great Christmas Eve present to get. Just sort of like a good refresher for the soul between two very busy flights. If these two VRs involve any kind of thing to win, you can please disqualify me. I don't need anything else. I'm glad that Mike and Bob, Old Man Things, and Smarty Bob survived their Winston Churchill experience yesterday. I looked in on them for about an hour, and Bob was camera right during it, slowly sliding off. He was checking his text and everything like that. I don't know how far. I think I caught them when they're like 3 or 4 hours into it. So Mike's still going on strong, and they're like chuffing on cigars, and so is Bob. But yeah, I think Bob was feeling it when I saw him. Even my husband was watching. He thought it was amusing. So we just sat there and just listened as they told jokes and everything like that. I could almost like cut through the cigar fog through Bob's garage and Mike's pub, the Frog and Toad. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to do just like a regular sort of pipe video instead of bitching about the thing. You all know what the thing is. The thing seems to be going a little better right now, but I don't want to say too much because every time I said the thing was going better, a certain somebody would end up back in the hospital, but that has not occurred yet, nor do I want it to. So, all right, going back upstairs, write up some more Christmas cards, maybe write in the journal. And by the way, my international cards have been sent out today. So my international people, just camp out by your post boxes or your mail slots for that super transcendent Christmas card Gary experience. Talk to you later, folks. Have a good one. Cheers. I want to say, I almost forgot to mention, the YTPC has made me a better person overall. And I thank all of you for that. Take care, my friends. Cheers.